My name is Sharon Wells and I do a lot of crafts with wool. My primary one is felting. I started off as a wet felter and I do a lot of needle felting and combine a lot of different crafts. So I have wet felting, needle felting, embroidery, and I do make wire sculptures as well. Well, I started 2 weeks after my second child was born. I coincidentally saw it on the television, and then there was a class being offered in Bray. It had just come onto my radar and I went in. I wanted to do something creative, but nothing had caught my interest that much, but that just did it. So after that, then I just went on. I just went bonkers over it and started making hats and scarves and things like that. So I got quite experienced at it and started teaching classes after a while. My parents are quite creative in the way that people were creative when they had to make everything themselves. So they wouldn't regard themselves as creative in an artistic sense, but they would have been very eco-conscious, we call it now. So they would have used everything that they had. My work has changed over the years. So originally when I was felting, it was suggested, because we were making hats and scarves and things, that we would use merino wool. Merino wool is commercial, it's imported, and it came from, we usually get it from England. Brexit kind of changed all that, but also in the last few years there's been this huge push on supporting sheep farmers and Irish wool. The wool types I pick will mimic some of the grasses and the components of the work. So that's why I picked them. So the Wensleydale, the blue-faced Leicester, or the Valais, or certain types like that. I would pick them on purpose because they have qualities, the very long curls, they look like grasses, and so they'd all come in white. Or I do get Jacobs as well, because Jacobs is a mixed coloured breed, and you can make rocks out of it because it has 3 different colours in it. The dyeing is fun. I regard that like a treat, I must say, yeah, sometimes, because I'll take bunches of white wool like this and then I'll go over to select my dyes, and I'll select at least 3 and maybe 5, and that they'll be done in a certain order, and in my head there's a certain tone of colour that I'm trying to achieve. And then when you put the dyes in, it just you manipulate how much water is in it. It's a whole sort of a witch's cauldron kind of thing. For me, the purpose is to connect with the happiest part of me when I was, the happy moments that you have as a child, the moments of, you're barefoot and on the bog, or barefoot and you're running around, and those special moments where you're just being there and you're happy and you've no worries. And it doesn't happen to everybody all the time. There's very small little moments, but that's maybe what I'm trying to reach, and that's what I'm trying to give to other people as well. I'm lucky that in Ireland a lot of people do feel very connected to nature and mountains and bogs. So deep down we all really want a connection to our happy selves. And if it's true nature, that's even better. I wouldn't worry so much about AI with regard to crafts. I'd be more worried about 3D printers. I suppose with wool and things like this, AI and 3D printers would have an awful job trying to do this. So I feel safe at the moment. But I think when it comes to artwork and photography and prints and things like that, it's not a good development as far as that's concerned. You know, I don't think people even know what's real anymore. Do you know? Whereas this is so real. I think there's very extremes, I think, in the world, and some of us are very old-fashioned, doing the old-fashioned stuff with the old-fashioned materials, and I think that's very important because it's nearly gone. It's very, very rare. When my son died in 2018, he died from sepsis suddenly. So that was incredibly traumatic and has had a major impact on the entire family. So it took me a very long time to recover. I couldn't go outside the door for a long time, panic attacks and things like that. But that year, I was invited by the Design Loft to go to the RTS to Gifted. And in order for me to do that, I had to make loads of things. So I was making things at 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, and the work I did at the time, you could see there was grief in it, and what it did, it gave me a purpose at the time to keep going, because I think when something big happens to you, you don't work for yourself, you work for the people around you. So I kept going because of my children, I kept going because of my parents and my husband, and I didn't want people to worry about me. So the things around me, I had to keep going for that. But I realised at one point that I had to keep going for myself, and the way I kept going was being creative. Because if I didn't create, I would have lost myself. So, and I said, I can't lose myself as well as my son, because I won't be able to function. So that changed my art straight away. Years previous to that, I was doing wet felting for a long time in 2012, and I got tendonitis in both of my arms. So then I wasn't able to wet felt. So then I did furniture painting for a little while, but went back to felting and started needle felting. And I started needle felting landscapes, which I'd never done before. And then as my arms recovered, I wet felted and I needle felted, and I embroidered and I machine embroidered. So my work changed because of something stopping me from doing one thing. So I couldn't wet felt, so I went in a different direction. And I could have viewed it maybe as holding me back, but I still found my way because I really wanted to create. So I think the making really saved me. So I'm lucky, I think, in a way that the hardships that I've had, I've been able to learn from them and learn through them. It's like the art now is it's part of me now. It's my companion, and it's not separate. It's not something that I do anymore. It's something that I am, and that's only happened in the last few years.